Yo, what's up lads, Max5 back out again with another video. Today guys, we're going to be covering the second test of the British and Irish Lions tour of South Africa versus the Springboks. This one, very questionable decisions in this game, a high scoring match, and we're going to go right into it and we're going to talk about that. So lads, I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
Pollard, what does he see? Mapimpi! Brilliant!
The first half pretty much went as the first half went, except flipped. The South Africans were dominant at the start. They opened off some really good attack, and within the first 3 minutes they were just constantly attacking, barreling away from a line. They got a penalty around the 50 metre line. They just barreled it into the corner of the Lions half, and they kind of moved laterally where it got to the stage when they were in front of the posts. So when the advantage came and they knew they weren't getting through, they took the points. And it's exactly what the British and Irish Lions did on the other end. So after that, it was 3-3, nothing really special going on. And then later on in the game, 15 minutes in, the Lions were attacking again, very flat line from the attackers. So when the ball went behind Anthony Watson and Duhan van der Merwe, it was never going to be caught as they were so flat in their line. But they did have the safety net of the advantage, so they went back for that. And Dan Biggar nailed it pretty far out in fairness, about 45 metres on the angle. Great kick, and for the first time in the game, we were in front. But that didn't last long, as we gave away a very slight penalty around the 40 metre mark. But from that angle, it was probably about 50 metres on the angle, but you know, Andre Pollard, great kicker. It was no bother to him. He knocked it over and they were level once again. But regarding Cheslin Kolbe's tackle on Conor Murray, I know the ref made some very dodgy calls on the day. I can confidently tell you that is not a red card. A yellow card I think was even quite harsh. Well, I think a yellow card is deserved, but I was even questioning whether the ref would give that or not, because that is not a red card offence. Both teams had both players had eyes on the ball, and yes, he just took the man out in the air. Definitely a penalty, definitely a yellow card. It's not a red. Even taking away how Conor would land if it was a red, take that out of the fact that that's not a red challenge. It's not like he turned him over it's not like he ran so fast he made him do like a tumble and he landed on his neck. He ran into him quite softly, so he wasn't going to land that hard. And this is no disrespect to Cheslin Kolbe, but Conor only jumped as high as tall as Cheslin Kolbe is. And no offence to him, but that's not quite, like, Cheslin Kolbe is not that tall. So when he jumps that high, he's not jumping the height of Eben Etzebeth, where he's nearly 6 foot whatever. I don't know how tall Eben Etzebeth is. He's not jumping that high and then falling really, really hard. So I don't think it's deserved giving me a red card, and I think a yellow card was the right call. They went on the attack again, 5 minutes from time, and they were constantly going lateral, basically what the Springboks did at the start of the game, laterally moving across, and even had penalty advantage. Conor Murray put a good chip over the top for Robbie Henshaw to chase, and he did gather it, and he nearly got over, but Sia Khaleesi got his hand under it and ripped the ball away. He was never getting it. Really, really good score, or really, really good defence rather, from Sia Khaleesi and from the Springboks, and fair play to them. And they do get a penalty. Dan Biggar lands it. And going into half-time, it was the British and Irish Lions 9, the Springboks 6. But then, right from the start of the half, this is basically what happened against the Lions, or what the Lions did to South Africa in the start of the first test. The Springboks went right back on the attack. Andre Pollard had the possession, and he was thinking of going for a pass, but he decided, no, I'm going to go for a cross kick. He puts a kick over the top into some open space. Makazole Mapimpi races onto the ball. He gets it, and it scores an excellent try, just about getting past Stuart Hogg. Really good score. The conversion was missed, but a really good score. And for the first time in the game, or second time rather, the Springboks were in front by 2 points. Springboks 11, British and Irish Lions 9. This is where the start of the dodgy calls start happening. So Faf de Klerk puts a really good grubber kick in for the Canyon to chase, and he touches it down, and it looks like a brilliant try and a well-deserved score in normal time. But when you slow it down, you realise Lucanio Am. So just a bit of context. To score a try, you need to be in control of it at all times, and it needs to be touching your palm. Not only did he lose control of it, he grounded it with his forearm, so that's not a try. Even Nigel Owens said, and he's Nigel Owens, obviously he's right. But the try is given. Now I know Rassie Erasmus probably got in the refs' heads because of the video he sent out, questioning all the calls being made, and probably said, okay, we need to not look that bad like we're against the Lions, or against the Springboks rather. So that probably had a factor in it, but still, it's one thing saying from me, it's another thing saying from Nigel Owens, but when you're the ref on the day, you should know that's not a try. It was given, he converted it, and they had a 9-point lead. And after a further penalty, it was still a 2-score game. So the Lions didn't really change much. It just meant that they couldn't get a try and a penalty. They needed a try, well, 2 tries pretty much. But this is when the killer blow came in an unfair way. So the ball went up for Anthony Watson to chase, and it came off his chest as he went to try to catch it, but he regathered it. It went off his chest and went forward, and he regathered it. That's grand. No knock on. But the ref gives it as a knock on. Now, it doesn't show it in the extended highlights, so you won't see it there unless you go digging for some other clips. But that is not a knock on. And you'd be thinking, okay, that's fine. But the thing is, the scrum that happened due to that knock on, well, like say knock on, went as a penalty for the Springboks. So they capitalised on it, and since it changed from a 2-score to a 3-score game with 5 minutes to go, it killed off the Lions. So the Lions had now gone behind by 13 points, or by 15 points rather, in an unfair way. They didn't deserve it, because there's 10 points there that have gone the Springboks' way that shouldn't have. So I think it's very unfair. A late penalty, but that was deserved, obviously, fair reason for. The Springboks capitalised on it, and the final score finishes the Springboks 27, the British and Irish Lions 9. Now that's fair enough. And even if you take away the 10 points away, it's the 10 points that shouldn't have been given away, it's still Springboks 17, Lions 9. And I'm not saying the Springboks didn't deserve the win. They did. They played way better. They're the way better team, and they deserved it. But very similar to England versus Denmark in the Euros, England were deserved winners. I just don't agree on how they did it. But my problem is, like, you take away that late penalty for sloppiness, the Lions probably given up at that stage. You take away that penalty, and then obviously the 10 points that shouldn't have been given. That's a 5-point game with 5 minutes to go. You would not have seen the end to a match that you would have seen from the Lions. They would have been going full on, constant pressure, trying to get back into it. But when you put on 10 points, it completely takes any life out of it. So I don't think how the Lions loss was deserved. I don't think how the Springboks won was deserved. But overall, I do think the Springboks do deserve the win, and a deserved win for them. Ties with the series 1-1, and we're going to have a decider in Cape Town later on in the week. So lads, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell. Don't call me salty. I'm a little bit. But lads, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you soon.